A 3-year-old sneezed and Belgium disappeared. You panic when the Wi-Fi drops. That's the difference between your bad day and a cosmic mutant's bad mood. When your emotions rewrite reality, puberty isn't awkward. It's an extinction-level event. This isn't a power fantasy. It's a global emergency. And today, we're finding out exactly why it sucks to be a cosmic mutant. Franklin Richards is so powerful that even planet-eating gods look at him and go, "Yeah, we might need to delete that kid." He's 3. He still watches cartoons. He still spills juice. And if he gets scared of the dark, he accidentally creates an entire universe where the monsters are real. Your childhood fears disappeared when your mom turned on a nightlight. Franklin's childhood fears formed their own civilization. Quick question, how do you baby-proof a house when your toddler can rewrite physics? You don't. So his parents take turns sleeping, not because he's sick, because if he has a nightmare during REM sleep, Manhattan might stop existing. Bedtime looks normal, until you realize everyone in the house is negotiating with a loaded weapon that likes cartoons. By elementary school, he's resurrecting dead heroes the way other kids spill juice. And eventually, cosmic judges, beings who decide whether species deserve to exist, show up at his home. Not to congratulate him, to debate whether reality would be safer if he never grows up. That's not a childhood, that's disaster preparedness with juice boxes. And here's the quiet horror. Franklin will never age normally. His sister will, his parents will, his friends will. He'll attend every funeral looking the same, wondering whether one emotional outburst years ago shortened their lives. He's powerful enough to fix everything, but everything he touches becomes a potential mistake. And somehow, this still isn't the most abandoned child on the list. Because while Franklin had parents afraid of him, Gabriel Summers didn't have parents at all. Meet Vulcan. Real name Gabriel Summers. 3rd Summers' brother. You know, Cyclops, hero, leader, laser-eyed Boy Scout. You know, Havoc, rebel, powerhouse, complicated. Gabriel, he's the only one they left behind. The Summers family gets abducted by aliens. The Shi'ar Empire, Cyclops and Havoc eventually get rescued, brought to Earth, join the X-Men, get therapy, have lives. Gabriel, still in space, still enslaved, for years. While his brothers are having danger room sessions and movie nights, Gabriel's getting electrocuted by a slave collar for crying too loud. When the X-Men finally learns he exists and mount a rescue, it's not a happy reunion. It's Scott and Alex meeting a stranger who has their eyes and a galaxy of resentment. They had childhoods. Gabriel had survival. And his powers, Professor X classified him as beyond Omega level. That's not on the charts. That's past the charts. Vulcan can manipulate every form of energy in existence. Cosmic energy, kinetic energy, magic, electricity, light, heat. If it's energy, he controls it. He can fly through space without a suit, absorb energy from stars, strip other mutants of their powers by overriding the electrical signals in their brains. Sounds cool until you realize every molecule in your body is screaming with energy you can't fully discharge. Breathing feels like swallowing lightning. Touching someone without ionizing them into atoms requires concentration. Imagine needing to focus just to hug someone without vaporizing their nervous system. Gabriel tries to connect with his brothers, but the gap's too wide. They see a stranger. He sees the people who had lives while he had electroshock therapy and ownership papers. So when the opportunity comes to take what's his, he takes it all. Vulcan conquers the entire Shi'ar Empire, becomes emperor, not because he wanted a throne, because anger was the only emotion that made sense anymore. Love felt like a trap. Family felt like abandonment. Power was control. Your wedding becomes a crater because your emotions literally explode outward. Your honeymoon irradiates a moon. Romance requires suppressing cosmic scale energy 24/7, or your partner becomes a statistic. You're so powerful that human connection becomes a physics problem. Every emotion is a potential war crime. Vulcan proves that cosmic power doesn't heal trauma. It just gives trauma a bigger budget. But at least Vulcan knows who's driving. Legion wakes up every day wondering which version of himself just committed a war crime. David Haller, codename Legion, Omega-level mutant, son of Professor Charles Xavier, the world's most powerful telepath. You'd think having a dad who can read minds would help. It doesn't, because Charles can't fix what's wrong with David's brain. Nobody can. Legion has dissociative identity disorder, multiple personalities, thousands of them, and each personality has a different mutant power. One personality has telekinesis, another has pyrokinesis, another can time travel, another warps reality, another creates black holes. They're all in there, all the time, fighting for control like a group chat where everyone's admin and nobody agrees on anything. Imagine waking up and not knowing which you is driving today. And if it's the wrong one, cities burn, timelines collapse, people you love get erased because personality number 847 thought it was helping. David once tried to save his father. Noble goal. He time traveled back to kill Magneto before Magneto became a villain. Great plan. Except he accidentally killed Professor X instead, his own father. That one mistake created the Age of Apocalypse, an entire alternate timeline where Apocalypse conquered the world and millions died. He was trying to help, and he erased reality. The worst part, David's not evil. Most of his personalities aren't evil. They're just uncoordinated. It's like having a nuclear arsenal controlled by a committee that can't communicate. One personality wants peace, another wants vengeance, another just wants breakfast, and they're all reality warpers. Your brain is a haunted server farm where every ghost has root access. In FX's Legion, David spends years labeled schizophrenic and bound through institutions. Because from the outside, I hear voices and my reality is melting. Looks exactly like a diagnosis, not a mutant event. The show makes him an unreliable narrator on purpose. Time periods blur. Scenes lie. Memories don't match. And here's where it gets personal. David doesn't just have issues, he has a squatter. Amal Farouk, aka the Shadow King, survives by embedding himself inside David's mind and siphoning off his powers, showing up as different faces to manipulate him. The devil with the yellow eyes, Lenny, king, a children's toy, whatever form keeps David confused and compliant. So when David spirals, he can't do the classic self-help move of remove toxic influences, because the toxic influence is literally paying rent in his frontal lobe. Your biggest enemy isn't a sentinel or an evil billionaire. It's the fact that you can't trust your own perception. You start treating your own senses like spam emails. Is this real? Or is my brain trying to sell me trauma again? Your dad's the world's greatest telepath and he can't help you. Your friends are terrified of you. Governments want you locked up or dead. And you can't even trust yourself because you don't know which you wakes up tomorrow. Keep that in mind, because when we rank these later, the you can't trust your own brain factor is going to matter. At least Legion's chaos stays mostly in his head. Hope Summers, she becomes a biological dependency for an entire species. Hope Summers is an Omega-level mutant whose ability is psychic power mimicry. She can copy and amplify mutant abilities from people around her at full capacity, sometimes better than the original. Sounds useful, right? It is. Until useful becomes you're now the biological infrastructure for an entire species. On Krakoa, Hope becomes 1/5 of the Five, a group of mutants whose combined powers enable the entire resurrection protocol that brings dead mutants back to life. Cerebro backs up mutant consciousness. Proteus warps reality to create organic matter. Elixir shapes it biologically. Tempest restores the age. Eva Bell manipulates time. And Hope synchronizes all their powers so the process actually works. Without her, the whole system collapses. She's the one Ethernet cable holding together the entire office network, except the office is mutant resurrection and the cable is a teenager. Hope doesn't get bad days, sick days, or existential crises. Because if she taps out, mutants stop coming back. The pressure isn't save the world once in a while. It's be present and functional 24/7 or your entire species loses the undo button. And because she's the mutant messiah, central to Messiah Complex and Second Coming, where she was hunted across time as an infant, Hope's entire life has been about what she represents to other people, not who she actually is. She doesn't get a personality outside of the one we need to keep alive. The worst part? Hope's power means she feels everyone else's abilities when she mimics them. So she's constantly experiencing other people's trauma, limits, and burnout, while being expected to stay stable. It's empathy as a superpower, which is just emotional labor with a manga glow effect. You go to brunch? Can't. Mutant Resurrection shift starts in 20 minutes and if you're late, Wolverine stays dead and it's your fault. You want a gap year? Cool, the species goes extinct. At least when Hope fixes something, it stays fixed. And if you think that's bad, wait till you see what happens when the fix itself kills people. Kevin McTaggart, aka Proteus, can warp reality with a thought, transmute matter, bend physics, turn a building into a fish, and whatever. But here's a catch. His reality manipulation is temporary and contingent on line of sight. The second he stops looking at something he changed, it snaps back to normal. You're living in a bugged video game where your edits rubber band back the moment you walk away. Proteus can turn a wall into water to escape, but the moment he's through, the wall comes back. He can reshape your body into a pretzel, but if he blinks, you're fine again. Every victory erases itself, and it gets worse. Proteus is a psionic energy being who can't sustain his own form, so he has to possess human hosts to stay corporeal. And those bodies, they burn out. Fast. His energy matrix slowly incinerates their hosts from the inside until they die, and using his reality warping power speeds up the process. So every time Proteus actually uses his abilities, he's shortening the lifespan of the person he's wearing like a meat suit. He can feel the host body deteriorating with every use of his powers, like running a computer at max settings until the fans scream and the motherboard melts. And when the body finally gives out, he has to jump to a new one, leaving a corpse behind. Imagine needing to replace your car every week, except the car is a human being and you're the engine that kills them. Proteus spent his childhood locked in a metal cell by his own mother, Moira McTaggart, not out of cruelty, but because he's literally allergic to metal, and it was the only thing that could contain him. When he escapes, he burns through host after host, leaving a trail of corpses, because his powers require fresh bodies just to keep him alive, and because his changes revert when he's not looking, Proteus can never trust that anything he does matters. He can't build, he can't create, he can only possess, distort, and move on. You fix a broken bridge, walk away, it collapses again. You save someone's life, blink, they're dying again. You try to make something beautiful, turn around, it's gone. Proteus knows exactly what he's doing to every host. He feels their pain as their cells cook. He hears their final thoughts as their brain shuts down. And he has to keep doing it anyway. Because the alternative is his own extinction. Legion fights his own mind. Hope becomes infrastructure. Vulcan weaponizes abandonment. Franklin attends infinite funerals. And Proteus is a ghost possessing corpses on a payment plan. So what's the pattern here? They're not treated like people. They're treated like weapons, infrastructure, or things to be contained. Franklin becomes a toddler the Celestials want dead. Vulcan becomes an empire built on rage. Legion can't trust his own brain. Hope is a system dependency for resurrection. Proteus is a possession cycle leaving corpses. The tragedy isn't the power. It's that nobody sees the person underneath. Just the threat. Just the usefulness. Just the damage. They don't get childhoods or relationships. They get origin stories written by war crimes and people who love what they can do, not who they are. Here's the ranking we promised. Number 5, Hope Summers, biological IT for immortality. No sick days. Species dies if you call out. Number 4, Vulcan. abandoned in space, enslaved for years. Emotions are war crimes, relationships are physics problems. Number 3. Proteus. Body hopping to survive. Nothing you fix stays fixed. You're killing people just to exist. Number 2. Legion. 1,000 personalities, each with powers. Killed your own dad trying to help. Brain parasite. Daily reality roulette. Number 1. Franklin Richards. 3 years old. Create universes. Celestials want you deleted. Sister dies while you stay young. Every hug might shorten her life. Infinite funerals. Alone. Forever. Franklin wins because his curse starts before he understands it, and it never ends. Still want Cosmic Mutant powers? Franklin can't dream without risking reality. Vulcan conquered galaxies, and he's still that enslaved kid. Legion can't trust which personality ordered lunch. Hope was called Messiah but never got to choose. Proteus fixes things that disappear when he blinks. Most powerful doesn't mean most free. It means the universe expects you to fix problems you didn't create and blames you when you can't. Drop a like if your life feels comfy now. Tell me in the comments which disaster you'd least want to be. Subscribe for more trauma disguised as lore. Thanks for watching. Touch grass before the Phoenix Force notices you.